Capitalism kinda blows. Our society has expressed this sentiment for a century or more as of making of this video, and I will do so again. Now, dear viewer, picture if you will, a utopia. A world free of greedy governments and their smelly taxes. A world free of people nagging at you for public indecency and disturbing the peace, because these cretins simply don't get the bliss that is taking a pneumatic drill to a public freeway and claiming the whole to be your home. Minecraft. A game of endless possibilities, a sandbox, a utopia, a capitalist hellscape where shiny books hold more value than human lives. But have you ever asked yourself, what does it all mean? Have you ever looked into the cubic abyss and felt it look back? Welcome to my TED Talk, Epic Gamers. Sit down, shut up, and let's get philosophical. Minecraft isn't just a game. It is a psychological experiment. It is a test of human nature. It is the final battleground of ethics and morality. Steve? A blank slate. A husk of a man, stripped of a past. A nomadic husk driven only by the insatiable hunger for more. More blocks, more tools, more power. In other words, the perfect capitalist subject. Day 1. You spawn in, you punch a tree. Instantly, without hesitation. Why? The game never even gives you a tutorial. You just know. It's instinct. It is primal. And before you even have time to ask, why am I doing this? You've already crafted a wooden pickaxe and you're digging into the earth like a mole man with a meth addiction. The overworld is a land of deception. At first glance, it's peaceful. Birds chirp. The sun rises, the water flows in endless blue perfection, but this world is not your friend. This world is a prison. It is a fabricated, algorithmic mockery of nature, designed not to be lived in, but to be consumed. You do not belong here, and the only way you can exist in this biome-patched hellscape is by conquering it. Every tree cut down, every animal slaughtered, every mountain hollowed out into your personal hermit hole. This is the price of survival. You can't just exist in Minecraft. You have to dominate. And what does the game do to punish you for your crimes? Nothing. It watches in silence, like some kind of sadistic elder god. The animals respawn, the grass regrows, the world pretends that nothing happened. But you know what you've done. You remember the first time you dug too deep into a cave and heard the distant moan of something ancient. Something wrong. That wasn't a zombie. That was the sound of the overworld itself, whispering, warning you. But did you listen? No. You lit up the cave with torches and stripped it clean of resources like a corporate oil magnate in a rainforest. And then the night comes. You see, Minecraft doesn't just simulate survival. It simulates the cycle of human paranoia. You build a dirt hut, you sit inside, peeking through a single window like some kind of medieval peasant waiting for the plague to pass. Every groan, every hiss, every distant shuffle of a skeleton's brittle bones sends a chill down your spine. The darkness isn't just an absence of light. It's an entity. An oppressive force pressing down on you, suffocating you. And just when you think you're safe, when you finally let your guard down, a creeper appears out of nowhere, hissing like a reducing your base and your sense of security to absolute rubble. It's not a jump scare, it's a message. You were never safe to begin with. But let's talk about the true villain of Minecraft. No, it's not the Isis cucumbers. It's not the Ender Dragon, it is not the Wither. It's you. That's right. You, the player, are an unhinged terraforming, resource-hoarding goblin. You pillage villages, steal their crops, burn their homes, and then look a helpless villager in his big, square, pleading eyes and say, "Huh, mending for 24 emeralds? I'll take 5. You construct horrifying redstone machines that exist purely to inflict suffering, mechanized torture dungeons where the screams of pixelated livestock form a symphony of madness. Why? Because efficiency. Because numbers go up. Because we have been programmed to obey the dopamine hit of progress. You slaughter entire herds of cows, not for food, but for bookshelves. You terraform entire landscapes into lifeless, barren wastelands just to build a cool castle you will abandon in 2 weeks. You force breed villagers in tiny, windowless boxes like some kind of dystopian nightmare. And when you're not actively oppressing the native species of the world, you're strip mining the planet's core like a corporate overlord hellbent on turning every last ounce of stone into yet another stack of chests you will never ever use. And for what? A beacon? A maxed out sword? Another base you will forget about when you get bored and start a new world. And what does this say about you? The person watching this. Have you ever stopped to consider that Minecraft isn't a game at all, but rather an unfiltered Freudian Rorschach test of your most depraved colonialist instincts? When you burn down a jungle biome because it's in the way of my build, what you're really doing is reliving Industrial Revolution, but with less regulations and more war crimes. When you throw stacks of rotten flesh into lava because it's useless, you're displaying the same lack of empathy that led ancient warlords to discard prisoners they couldn't ransom. Every single choice you make in Minecraft is a reflection of how you'd act in a lawless, godless world where the only rule is do whatever you want. And let's be honest, you did not pass that test. Whenever. What is the first thing you do when you arrive in this barren hellish void? Do you stop and admire the twisted alien beauty of this landscape? Well, maybe for the first time, but usually you immediately begin strip mining its walls for quartz like some kind of deranged dwarven psychopath, and hoarding glowstone like a medieval alchemist on a power trip. You enslave piglins, mock their guttural language, and build massive, soulless infrastructure projects in their homeland, all because you needed a faster route to your base. It's not just colonization, it is speedrun colonization. And then when you grow tired of that world, when your hunger for diamonds and netherite can no longer be satiated, what do? You press F3, you find coordinates, you build a portal, you enter the end, the great unknown, and in this vast cosmic expanse, guarded by an eldritch nightmare, you do the only thing you know how. Commit genocide. The Ender Dragon, it doesn't attack you unprovoked, it just flies around, vibing, you know. You show up like a colonial warlord with enchanted gear and an unshakable thirst for destruction. And when it's over, when the dragon breathes its last breath, the portal opens. You step inside and the game, exhausted, defeated, simply says, "Wake up." And that brings us to the lore. The scattered ruins, the strongholds buried deep beneath the ground, the abandoned mine shafts. You think it's just flavor? No, it's evidence. There were people here before you, civilizations long gone. And what happened to them? The same thing that happened in every Minecraft world. Destruction, greed, and ultimately, the end. Look at the ruined nether portals dotting the landscape. Monuments to a civilization so desperate they tried to flee to hell itself for salvation. The desert pyramids filled with traps and treasure tell the story of a people who once thrived but left nothing behind but sand and echoes. And the strongholds? Massive underground fortresses built around portals to the end. The final escape hatch of a race that saw the writing on the wall and tried to leave this doomed world behind. The Endermen? Survivors of an ancient race that fled their home dimension, only to find themselves warped and hollow, condemned to wander eternally, picking up scraps of a world they no longer understand. The Nether, a scorched wasteland, a glimpse into the final fate of every world tainted by progress. And the end? The last frontier, an infinite abyss, where the only thing left to fight is the ghost of your own ambition. The Ender Dragon is not your enemy, it is the final gatekeeper, the last obstacle standing between you and nothingness. Minecraft is a game about survival. It is a post-apocalyptic horror story, an endless cycle of greed and destruction, where the only thing left to do once you've conquered everything, built everything, and mined everything, is to start over. And you will, again, and again, and again. Because you were never meant to win. Like an unholy specter of consumption, you cannot be stopped. Your hands, once pixelated and pure, are now stained with the digital blood of millions. Minecraft's world, once full of life, now bears the scars of your unchecked ambition. The rivers run dry, the trees stand barren, the villagers whisper in fear at the sound of approaching footsteps. There is no escape. You are the final boss. It's not a game anymore. It never was. It's a prophecy, a warning, an omen of things to come. The cold, pixelated embrace of the void calls to you, yet you refuse to answer. There is always another block to mine, another world to destroy, another village to burn. The addiction is forever. You are Steve. Steve is you. And Steve? Steve is death, destroyer of worlds. Thank you for watching.